Hello, friends. So, the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, the first component of the Bill of Rights, is primarily concerned with establishing and explaining very specific freedoms that you have as somebody residing within the United States. There are 4 core freedoms that comprise the First Amendment, 2 of which you probably hear quite a lot about, but may not actually know precisely what they allow or disallow, and 2 of which are actually fairly obscure today and may be worth examining in closer detail. So, the first promise made by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution is freedom of religion. And this actually comprises 2 separate but very closely related promises that the federal government makes people residing within the United States. One of them is the promise of a positive freedom, that you are guaranteed the freedom to do something that may be desirable or good. The other is a negative promise. It is a promise of what we would call negative freedom, or freedom from something that may be undesirable or unpleasant. First, the positive affirmation or the positive promise. Under the First Amendment, the United States government pledges to equally respect all religious traditions, beliefs, and not get directly involved in any religious debates or ongoing dialogue, all right? That means that regardless of your faith or lack thereof, your religious beliefs and your right to practice them however you believe is best, however you see fit, is guaranteed under the Constitution. With one kind of important exception. If you happen to practice a religious ritual or faith that would bring involuntary harm upon others, hurt their person or their property, that wouldn't be protected under the First Amendment. But with that exception, anything that you feel compelled to do, respect, or acknowledge spiritually, or if you prefer to not be religious or spiritual whatsoever, that stance is respected as equally valid, as good as any other in the eyes of the United States government. The negative aspect, or the negative freedom or protection of freedom of religion, is that the government promises to never establish an official state religion, a religion endorsed by the government and funded by government monies and material, and also to never compel or coerce, that is, force or attempt to manipulate people into practicing or acknowledging a religion that doesn't align with their personal values or religious beliefs. What this means is you cannot be forced to pay money for taxation or other purposes that goes to funding a church or a religious organization that you personally disagree with the mission or beliefs of. And likewise, you cannot be made to participate in religious rituals that you have a moral objection to. This is, to this day, the topic of some mild controversy within the legal world, but that is generally understood to be the meaning of the First Amendment. All religions are equal in the eyes of the United States government, including none at all, and the government will never compel people to respect, acknowledge, or practice any religion that violates their personal morals.